We know President Trump remains popular with Republicans, but new polling data suggests there's been a noticeable shift when it comes to independent voters. Here to run the numbers with us, CNN Chief Data Analyst Harry Etten. Hello, Harry.
Hello.
Okay, so walk us through among Trump and his favorability among independents.
Oh, my goodness gracious. It's just awful. It's horrible. It's terrible. I mean, you know, there was all this focus in the press about the Gallup poll that came out that showed him at basically his lowest rating ever among independents. But I want to note, it's not just Gallup, it's the average. What are we talking about? Trump's net approval rating among independents. Look at the average. In January, he was basically even, right at about -3 points. Not too hot to trot, but not terrible. Look at where he is in July. -29 points. My goodness gracious, that's an over 25-point drop. And then I mentioned Gallup. They went from -2 to -35. That's a 33-point drop. So no matter which way you look at it, you look at the average, you look at Gallup, the drop has just been absolutely tremendous, and he is just in a horrific position when it comes to the center of electorate where oftentimes elections are decided, Jessica.
Yeah, put his standing in historical context for us.
Okay, so we're going to look back at all the presidents I could possibly find at this point in their presidency. And you know where Donald Trump ranks, Jessica Dean? He ranks at the bottom, all the way down in the basement. Worst net approval ratings ever 6 months in among independents. He's at -29 points, as I mentioned, the average. That beats the old record. Who held the old record? Well, it was Donald Trump himself back in 2017. He was 23 points underwater. And that, of course, was the worst. And Donald Trump has somehow managed to beat even that. He is at the lowest of the low levels. You have to take an elevator all the way down. It's no longer on street level. It's about 30 stories under at -29 points.
And look, when you're talking about these numbers, I think the next question is why? So what appears to be the leading cause of this issue for him?
Okay, you know, one of the big reasons that Donald Trump was reelected to the presidency was because folks did not like the way that Joe Biden and the Democratic Party was handling inflation. Let's go back through the time machine. We can take a look at net approval ratings on inflation, again, among independents. Back in 2024, Biden was 38 points underwater. Absolutely horrific on inflation. But look at where Donald Trump is. He manages to go even lower. How low can you go, to quote Chubby Chucker? Look at that, 45 points underwater. Oof. It's no wonder that his ratings overall among independents are so bad, because on arguably the biggest issue of our day and age, inflation in the minds of the American public, Donald Trump is absolutely failing when it comes to independent voters.
Okay, but Trump isn't alone in having issues with voters. Democrats have got their own issues.
Yeah. So, you know, we have on the right side of the equation, you have Donald Trump. But on the left side of the equation, you have Democrats and the Democratic Party. And let's take a look at Dems, and let's look at their net favorable ratings. Whoa. Woof. I mean, my God. You know, we mentioned CNN. We had that poll come out a little while ago on their net favorable rating. They were 26 points underwater. You think that's low enough? How about we go even lower? We'll go to this side of the screen. I'm going to walk over here. We go to the Wall Street Journal. -30 points. 30 points underwater. Their lowest on record. These polls have records going all the way back since the early 1990s. And when it comes to the Democratic Party's net favorable rating in both the Wall Street Journal poll and the CNN poll, the Democratic Party is breaking records in the way, Jessica Dean, you don't want to break records.
Yeah, no, you don't want that. What about how they do among independents?
Okay, so we're talking about overall here, but we started off this segment for the first 3 slides talking about independents. Why don't we talk about the Democratic Party's favorable rating among independents in our CNN SSRS poll? Look at this. 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19%. If I can count it, you know it's low, and it is extremely low when it comes to independents and the Democratic Party. Independents hate everybody, but that's one of the reasons why the election next year is going to be so interesting, because when it comes to independent voters, the bloc of group that actually decides elections, they hate everybody.
They don't seem to be pleased, yeah. Those numbers aren't great for anybody. All right. Interesting. Harry Etten, always good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.